As a scientist, I can tell you that Sundays are only 24 hours long. But with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get every game every Sunday all in one place. That's upwards of 30 hours of NFL in one day. How can there be 30 hours in 24 hours, you ask? I have a theory. Magic. New users get NFL Sunday Ticket for 8 payments of $34.50 per month. Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games and commercial use. Terms and embargoes apply. Availability varies.
This episode is brought to you by ESPN. Catch the first WWE Premium Live event on ESPN, WrestlePalooza, live on Saturday, September 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be an epic night in Indianapolis, featuring some of the biggest WWE superstars. This event is only on ESPN, so go to stream.espn.com and sign up to the ESPN app today for your all-access pass to WrestlePalooza and all WWE Premium Live events.
Good night, itchy eyes. Good night, sudden sneeze. Good night to your symptoms of allergies. Xyzal is the allergy medicine you take before bed. It provides powerful relief while you rest your head. Not just all night, but all the next day. Xyzal keeps working, keeping allergies at bay. And without those annoying symptoms disturbing your rest, you can wake up the next morning feeling your absolute best. Remember, be wise all. Take Xyzal. At night.
New Vitamin Water Zero Sugar Pineapple Passion Fruit is packed with vitamins. Just like the amount of peas we packed in that sentence. It's packed like your tote bag. The one you stole from your ex. Or your overpriced half-a-studio apartment. Or extra rushed rush hour traffic. Packed like your calendar. Triple booked at 5, of course. Grab a Vitamin Water. Did we mention it's packed with vitamins?
Back with another episode of Keeping Current. This is Thad Bell with the KC Soccer Journal. With me, Carrie and Sperry, and I am stumbling over my words tonight. We're doing it earlier than normal, and I feel like tired. I don't know why. Carrie Robinson, also from the KC Soccer Journal. Daniel Sperry from the KC Star. We had a very, very high scoring match with Current last game. Okay, 0-0 draw. The most exciting match ever, but at least it wasn't in 100-degree heat. How are you all tonight?
Good.
Doing good.
Alive, breathing. Real exciting, real riveting action to chat about tonight.
Yeah, so maybe this won't be the longest one. Maybe it will, because sometimes we get on a tangent. Carrie, you sometimes like tell a little bit longer stories, mostly when you're bragging about your access.
You're pretty good at it.
Yes, you do not ramble nearly as much as the one sitting on his couch.
Yes.
Am I as bad as him about rambling?
No.
You can be honest, Carrie. Okay, good.
No.
All right. 0-0 draw. Current edge closer. The 0-0 draw with the Spirit. The Current edge closer to a clinching scenario for the Shield. What did we see from this last match? And because Sperry's sitting on his couch, I'll ask you, Carrie, what did you see from this last match?
I felt like we had a better first half than we did second, despite having a man advantage for most of the second half. And maybe that's just something that happens with KC Soccer. We've seen it over the last few years that when we go up a man, the other team tends to block a lot better and hold their stance, just kind of clogging up whatever ways that we have through. But the first half, I felt like maybe Washington Spirit wasn't yet in the game. And so we kind of try to capitalize a little bit more on those advantages. I mean, I would still say we obviously were the better team. It just seemed like the second we got the red card, they got the red card, that it was going to be a draw.
Yeah, I think the Current, from my point of view, in the first half, they Washington had more of the ball, they had possession, but the Current weren't letting them out of Washington's end very much. So they still was controlling the game, but when it got to the second half, it kind of flipped. So it wasn't. It was a different game for them. Missing Timois. How about you, Sperry? What was your first observations from this?
First observation was that the spirit, sorry, that the current did not punish the ease at which the spirit were getting played through in the first 20 to 25 minutes of the game. Um, every single seam pass was on for the current. Every single chipped through ball was on. The problem was is that they were either heavily weighted because they're used to playing Temois up there, and it wasn't. It was Nichelle Prince, or then Nichelle Prince was offside because she was trying to get to those overplayed balls a little bit quicker. The Spirit made a bit of an adjustment. We're able to cut out those passes, those seam passes, and the passes that would break their lines a lot. But I thought the current repeatedly broke Washington's lines for 30 minutes of the match. And as you said, Sophia Cantoria gets a shot off in the 38th minute. That was just the second shot of the game. But it took 38 minutes for the current or for the Spirit to register a shot in the game. And it was just for the mo like the first 30 minutes belonged to the current. And I think in the end, like they kind of rued their inability to finish off the game and put themselves into the position earlier because here's the thing. The current registered a shot in the 19th minute and then didn't register another shot and a half until the 7th minute of stoppage time. And so we're talking here about like there's so much dominance that was done by the current in the positions that they were getting into. The final pass was never there. The shots didn't come, and that's what I'm talking about. They weren't able to find a way to punish the Spirit within those first 30 minutes for the dominance of control and play that they had, and that let the Spirit kind of back into the game for that next 30 minutes. It was pretty much all Spirit from the time of the water break on, and that until the red card really changed the outcome, and not the outcome, but the way that the game was played and the overall feeling about the current against Washington, as Thad might say.
Yes, Washington. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it too.
With with Timois out, she was held out, even though she probably could have played if it was a important playoff game, from our understanding. But with her out, Dabinia up on the front line this time with midfield of Claire and Sentnor and Lowe, right? Yeah.
Tabini did not start, right?
No, she did not.
Yeah, she was a halftime sub.
Oh, you're right.
It was Nichelle. It was the
Yes,
same front
Michelle.
four.
Yeah,
Well, no, not same front four. It was Ali Sentnor. Yes, Ali Sentnor, Bia, Cooper, and then left wing was Nichelle Prince.
right. Yeah. No, I was reading this incorrectly, trying to refresh my memory. The
You're doing better than FootMob because they have Hutton on the back line. So
yeah, they have been very bad lately, quite honestly, especially with women's soccer. It seems like was Sentnor not again, some of this was that the passes were a little heavily weighted or things like that, but was some of it Sentnor just not making the right connections? I've heard some people criticize her in this last game, and I don't know that I don't want to be like very critical, but at the same time, was she not as at her best for this game?
I would disagree with that. I just think like some of those balls were coming from Lowe, some of those balls were
Yeah,
coming from Claire. One came from Sentnor and was really well weighted. Aubrey Kingsbury, who is one of the best goalkeepers in the league, made a very good read on one of them. It was a perfect little chipped through ball into Bia, and she was making a run, and it doesn't end up as a shot, but Bia is able to get a touch to it. But there's so many, the Kingsbury is there to quickly close her down that, Bia can't even really get a shot off because she kind of scoops up the ball on Bia's attempt to control it. So I think there's a couple here that I actually thought were really good passes from Sentnor. It's just if Tem was on the end of that, maybe it's a goal. Or, if, uh, you know, maybe if Nichelle isn't offside, she gets to that ball and it ends up a goal. There was a couple that were in there. So I, Ali is not a player that I don't know that I would really criticize
Okay.
anyone in the game, especially in that first 30 minutes, for what they were doing to create chances and their execution of it. If there's actually any question I'd have for Ali is like there were I think so much has been said about her not shooting from distance, and there were opportunities there for her to shoot from distance. Maybe just to break down, um, get the spirit to kind of come out and pressure them more, because the spirit were kind of content in holding the height of their line, and it made it difficult to get those balls in behind them. So if she takes a shot a couple of times, maybe sends a warning shot early, to Kingsbury and puts it on target, but not really, um, puts it not trying to put it top bins or rip it through the net, but just gets one in on target from 20, 25 yards out earlier in the game. Maybe it changes how the Spirit try and come out and close her down, and there's more gaps and spaces that they can exploit in the back line. So one that's a slight, very small criticism. There's very little that I would actually criticize from Senor in this game.
I mean, I'm not gonna blame Sentinor completely. I feel like it's more of a midfield because like towards the end of the game, it felt like we just could not complete passes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every single time my dad would be like, not again. And it's play after play after play.
Yeah. And I don't want it to say like I'm criticizing Sentner as much as I've seen some people criticizing her in this game. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I was not sure because when I'm shooting a game, I have a very different view of things. And that first half, actually both halves, like it felt like most of the game was played on the other end. So it's like I didn't really have a good up close half, except for the occasional breakthroughs where they were getting down there. But yeah, it
Yeah.
did feel like it was just not as sharp. But not having Tim on the end of those makes up for a lot of you can sometimes we'll see those perfect passes out of the back to Timoa to run onto or something. But sometimes Timoa makes the best of a pass that she can just run onto. You don't have to be as precise when you have a Timoa running at it. What else? Was this just proof that they cannot be a great team without Timoa on the field? Or was this just as Blanca would say, a one versus two type of match?
I'm thinking it's more of one versus two, solely because of the run up that Washington's had in this second half of the season. They have not lost a game. I don't think they've drawn very many either. They're just in a really good run of form. I think last week maybe we had kind of all said that you would think that they would play this like it's a playoff match just to see what they have when the time comes. By getting Tamil in there, who is questionable, and she's been questionable for weeks in the past and gone 90 minutes. And with same thing with Dabinia. So I think just maybe the mix up of, not having those two key players that they've been playing with constantly. I mean, we know that they can score without Temwa. Um, so I think it really is just that one versus two, not throwing out all the tactics that they can.
The the Spirit actually have had a lot of draws in their last eight.
Okay,
It was like five draws and three wins now. Um,
gotcha.
but if you go to like the five games before that, there was one loss and three wins and a draw in that. So if you go over the whole length of time, it's like one loss and a bunch of wins and draws pretty much evenly over that time. But they have been steadily just super solid and not giving up a ton of chances in those games.
I was gonna say, I think your original question was this just a 1v2 or was this Temma missing? Is that correct?
Something along that lines, yeah.
I would say for me, I think like this is a game where you miss Temwa, just in the sense that the gravity of coverage that she requires, that opens up those opportunities, for Bia, opens up better spaces in the middle for somebody like Sentnor or Dabinia, to play in, and I I think those are for me like That is the gravity of Temwachuga has such a significant impact because teams have to do so much to stop her. They have done a better job of stopping her this year, and she still is tied for the lead in the Golden Boot, and she's played less games than Astaire has. Um, so like we're looking at this with like this team without Temwa, and they're still very good. They're still very dangerous. I thought they, as a whole, they were still the better team. They probably should have won on Saturday night, and they're still the best team in the one of the best teams in the league without Temwa, right? But with Temwa, they are the team that's 14 points clear.
Yeah.
And that is like that's not like a knock on the team either, coming from like okay, so the Chiefs fans can get this too, of course, with Patrick Mahomes. But like I love basketball. I love the NBA. My team is the Golden State Warriors. Team was garbage forever until they got Steph Curry. And even then, Steph Curry finally developed into this crazy world-class player. Steph Curry is the system that makes everything go, right? And like that is what happens with generational talent and star players is there is a gravitational pull to them in games, and they are the system. Patrick Mahomes is the system for the Chiefs. Like it's not, oh, offensive scheme and we run this spread option and we do this college football. No, it is Mahomes is the system. And I think like for the current, Temwa is the system in a way. And that doesn't mean that they can't like operate and be remotely successful without that player in a system. And but at the same time, like that it's just not a knock in my opinion. Because I had heard some people kind of talking about, oh, the current without Temwa aren't that big of a deal. No, they just tied the second best team in the league and dominated them for most of the game without Temwa.
Yeah.
They just are that much better than everybody else with Temwa. And so for me, it's a Temwa thing. But I don't want to drone on about it too much because there are some other things that happened, especially in that second half, with the red card that I would love to talk about.
Um, Actually, and I'll just add on to what you're saying is if they knew that they didn't have Tim Wow for a while, they would adjust their style a little bit or some of the positioning and some of that, and they would still be a really good team. I
Yes.
mean, you don't have a team that has Dabinia, Bia, Michelle Cooper, Lowe, Claire, Sentnor, Michelle Prince, Mary Long, Alex Pfeiffer, etc. That isn't going to score some goals. They're going to score some goals. All right, second half. It I already said like it seemed like they were on the other end the first half, and then they were still on the other end after they switched in. So it seemed like the Current were under a lot more pressure, or they didn't have the pressure on the Spirit as much, and then the number of shots just went up tremendously total for both teams. What was the difference in the second half? And then you can go into the red card.
The difference in the second half for me was actually the substitution that Washington made. And I thought this is really it was interesting to me that Vlatko after the game kind of and today was saying, "Oh, we didn't play. We got worse when the red card happened. That's on us. We shouldn't have." That's on us as a coaching staff for maybe making different decisions. That's on the players for making better and different decisions on the players. But we got worse when we got the red card, and I think I would agree, in a sense. But I genuinely think that the tactical move from Adrian Gonzalez was brilliant to bring on, like most teams when they get down a man or down a player, um, they they're immediately throwing on defenders and midfielders, right? They're trying to
Yeah,
stabilize whatever happened. They lost a very aggressive ball-winning midfielder in the middle in Hal Hirschfeld, for two very deserved yellow cards. Um, and all of a sudden he throws on to complement Trinity Rodman. He throws on Rose Kawasi and um
Gift Monday.
and Gift Monday, two more of the fastest transitional players in the league. And what it did was made the Current respect with numbers not throwing forward. and the current could not throw as many numbers forward. They couldn't really pin them in because those three stepped up and pressed the current back line and midfielders and harried them and tried to win the ball off of them and make things difficult for them and took the time away from them. And instead, the current played into that, which is I think is maybe Vlatko's point today, is that they played into that by rushing things, long ball, making, as Carrie said, great observation, some terrible passes through the midfield that were just getting eaten up. They were just kind of hopeful passes at times. And so, like for me, like when you look at the game in the second half, like the red card changed the game, but Washington won the red card change by the tactical shift that they made. And it was a very good move from Adrian Gonzalez. I I'll say this though, in the long run, I think it's interesting that he did that now because I think that's a look that you do like they went like in his way he went all out to try and get this point when in reality it's not going to have a make that much of a difference in the Shield. Where in reality, in the playoffs, come time, the current will have a plan devised, up a man or not, for Washington to do something like this. If Washington in a playoff game gets up a goal and has the ability to bunker in, they know what they're going to do because they did it to him earlier, and it worked. So is that the look you want to burn now? Maybe I guess so. It was for Adrian Gonzalez, but it was a perfect ace card that he had in his pocket for this game.
Yeah, well, maybe he figures they won't get a red card in a playoff game because NWSL refs won't do that.
I mean, if you make two blatant yellow card offenses the way Hal Hirschfeld did, it might happen.
So is that the way you saw it watching it, Carrie? Essentially, that
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like the substitutions that we made, they were 83rd, 83rd, 90 or 89th minute. Much later, these players are tired, especially going against two of the fastest players in the league. I wish we would have seen Alex Pfeiffer on a little bit sooner to see what she could bring as a 16, 17-year-old,
17.
17.
You feel old.
Um, yeah. I wish that we would have seen her a little bit sooner, maybe like, I don't know. I would have liked to see her kind of switch out and I mean, she's going in for Michelle Cooper. The only other subs at that point were midfielders. I would have liked to probably, I don't know how, obviously we know that Michelle Cooper goes this amount of minutes because this is, what she's maxed out at based off stats. And they've talked about that in press conferences afterwards whenever she's having really good games but still gets subbed out. Um, I, I just wish that we would have seen her a little bit more in a game like this. That, I think it was very obvious after the red card. We had a good like 10 minutes um, of, trying to take advantage of that red card, and then we kind of realized that we weren't. So that's when I would like to see her a little bit sooner.
Do you think Vlaco held out just like, yeah, it's fine. Well, we don't want to show our hand on some of this. Maybe, the spirit coach did show a hand on a possible move. Maybe the current didn't want to show that hand.
Maybe, but I don't know. You're putting on Rocky and Hopkins on as well. I think that we've seen enough from Rocky just to basically she's just out there for that leadership and she's a veteran, so she's trying not to make those little mistakes that maybe a younger player would make in that spot. Um, but I don't know, throwing a 17-year-old that has not gotten any minutes in the regular season just to see.
Yeah, I thought Rocky did pretty good in her limited a few minutes. Pfeiffer just didn't like 2 minutes left in the game plus stoppage time. She whatever the total was, but 7 minutes or something like that. She didn't have a lot of opportunity to change anything. She only got a touch or two. I mean, she really didn't have too much involvement because I was trying to watch just to hopefully get a shot because I was hoping that she would get a chance on goal and make a little magic happen. But nope. Did you talk about everything you wanted to with the red card there, Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take a little break and we'll be right back.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like expecting the leadership of a team captain on the football field, but getting a sea captain. You wouldn't settle for just anything for your team. Shouldn't it be the same for your insurance? So don't settle for just any insurance when you can go with a leader. State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
If you thought goldenly breaded McDonald's chicken couldn't get more golden, think Golder. Because new sweet and smoky special edition gold sauce is here. Made for your chicken favorites. At participating McDonald's for a limited time.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Tonight, turn down the noise of the day and focus on the rest with AGZ, the nightly drink for winding down and resting up. New from AG1. AGZ supports your body's natural sleep cycle with clinically studied key herbs, adaptogens, and minerals in amounts supported by research. And no melatonin, helping you wake feeling rested. Wind down, rest up with AGZ. Learn more at drinkagz.com.
And we're back. All right, with the 0-0 draw, with a scoreless draw against the Spirit, the Current did make up 3 points because 2 points lost by Washington and 1 point gained by the Current. So they made up 3 points towards the magic number, which should now be what? 5? I think so.
Okay. I said 4 earlier, and I was told different.
It's 5.
Yeah. Although some Current people today were saying 4, it's 5.
It's 5.
Yeah.
Because you can only it's a combination. The magic number is a combination of points earned and points dropped for the only team that can catch them, which is the Spirit.
Right.
And the Spirit dropped 2 points while the Current gained 1. That's a number of 3 from the original number of 8. That's why you have 5.
I think what they're looking at is they probably think that they're going to win the goal differential, because if the Current did only gain 4 towards the magic number,
I could still tie.
They could still tie.
But the league, I guarantee you, the league won't award them the shield until it's done and dusted.
Right. No, I don't think so either. But just saying, that's probably why they were thinking that, because it's kind of unlikely anybody catches in the goal differential now, but it would be such an amazing story if it happened. So. Actually, I want to go back to the last game for a second. One thing we didn't mention at all, we did talk about the Current not, scoring and some of the reasons for that, but they did hold a good Spirit team from scoring, including one Trinity Rodman. So how many chances did she even have? Didn't seem like it was a lot.
She had 1 shot in the game.
And that was a .02 xG.
From 25 yards out, yes. Yeah. Granted, she had some very good danger service that players did not quite get on the end of a couple of times in there.
Yeah. So I'm not saying she had a bad game. It's just that they did defend her.
They defended her very well. They kept her from getting inside the box in dangerous areas, that's for sure. The only person that ever got on the ball in the box in a dangerous area was Cantore or Croy Bethune, and they handled that really well.
Including Izzy's amazing last-minute save.
Yes.
We should probably mention that.
We should.
Yeah. Who was that shot from?
I think that one was Croy.
Yes. Yes, blocked. Croy Bethune shot blocked.
Yeah, no, that was
Found it.
It's interesting because that shows as a .03 xG, the Croy win in the 52nd minute. Is that the one we're talking about?
47th is what I think.
Okay. Well, it's still only a .09 because it was I think if Izzy
It
didn't
was
block
just
that,
outside the box.
if Izzy didn't deflect that, block that, I think that was a pretty good chance of going in, quite honestly.
Yeah, but anything from outside of the box looks, you know how XG is.
Yeah, which again doesn't always show the perfect story, but it is at least a good measuring stick to work from.
Correct.
All right, I just wanted to bring up that about Trinity not having a ton of opportunities in that game because we should have talked about that a little bit earlier. I'm starting to wake up now. I kind of dozed off before we did this pod, so I was not totally with it when we started, but we had to go on. The show must go on, right? All right, we talked about the magic number should be five.
Hmm.
In theory, the Spirit play before current play this weekend at CPKC Stadium against the Rain. Spirit play a couple days before that. So the current could know if they even have a chance of clinching the Shield this weekend before they play. What do you think the chances are that the Spirit will drop a game against their opponent on Thursday?
I think that okay, this is where I tell my little story that we were talking about earlier. Um, I was thinking about this earlier because I'm going to the sporting game. Only because
Oh,
Thomas Mueller is playing. And he is who I was introduced to soccer through somewhere in the middle of Montana, during the 2010 World Cup or the 2012 Euros, one of them. So I'm gonna go see him, but I was freaking out earlier because I was like, oh no, this could be when the current raise the shield. And then I was like, I had to like go into the Blue Crew Discord, which sometimes I just lurk, just to like find the magic number, and I saw it was 4. And then I was like, oh crap, there's a decent chance, depending on, if they were playing a upper table team, and then I saw they were playing LA, and I got less worried.
so you have no faith that LA can beat the Spirit?
No, they're damaged. LA is a very damaged team right now, despite
Yeah.
having yet a new coach, but losing a Thompson sister
Yeah, that is traumatizing.
and like 3 other people.
So wait, you were watching the 2010 World Cup in the middle of Montana?
No, we were listening to it on the radio. My sister was dating a German exchange student for many years at this point. And he was on vacation with us.
Ah,
So
Since the Alyssa Thompson um, transfer, the Angel City FC have only defeated Bay FC and got defeated soundly by Gotham, and the Courage, who are not good, were up on them 2-0 within like 20 minutes. So this is a team that's a little is reeling a bit.
yeah, I mean you lose Thompson, but when did that go through? Because I mean there's that was 3 games ago that you just listed when
Yeah,
they last got a win.
yeah. I mean, that was the last time that, like, her last appearance with the team was their 1-0 win that she scored the winner for over Orlando, back in August 21st. So,
It's kind of funny for Angel City though, because they have 6 wins total, and it comes in 2 win clumps with losses in between. Like,
yeah, I mean, before the win against the Alyssa Thompson-less win against Bay and the Alyssa Thompson winner against Orlando, they had not won in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before beating the Washington Spirit earlier this year and beating the Utah Royals, who everyone beats at some point. So,
yeah. So we're just gonna say that it's less likely the current can clinch the Shield on Saturday night.
mhm.
So Carrie can go to the sporting game, probably, although I know she's going to be stressing out Friday morning if somehow Angel City beats the Spirit.
Or gets a tie. A draw works too.
stop it.
True. Yep.
Stop it, Sperry.
Just a scoreless draw where they just can't, nobody can find the back of the net. I mean, a bad call by a referee. The Spirit are missing Hal Hirschfeld for that game. Oh man, short rest. Maybe they won't be able to get a result.
Short rest, 10:30 p.m. body clock kickoff. I mean, this is just a
Yeah,
recipe for an Angel City FC win right now.
it's just a big upset. Just not even necessarily the win. I mean, but you never know. Angel City, they might rally around a, a single Thompson team.
I love LAFC. No, I love ACFC downfalls. I also love LAFC downfalls. Um,
There are a
and
lot less of those.
yes,
Just
but I'm
saying.
I'm hoping that they continue, both of them.
I I just want to start putting out video when we start doing rants like this, and just the look on Carrie's face, like, oh, please, just shut up.
Stop. No, it's fine. I calmed myself down like 2 hours ago. It was a good 15-minute like panic though. I was like, what am I gonna do? I was still at my parents' house and I have a picture of like the 2014 winner poster. And I was just looking at it. I was like, what am I gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
My first love versus my second.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to turn down your first love,
It's true.
especially you only get a few chances to see that. I mean, they clinch a shield almost every day. All right, so we've caused Carrie enough stress at the moment. For the moment, we'll do it probably again later. Uh, the current do face the Rain this weekend, who just tonight finished off their suspended game. Oh, what are you wearing, Carrie?
I'm wearing a Rain jersey because I was very inspired by Laura Harvey's tactical change earlier.
Mm. What tactical change did she make earlier that the Current should be looking out for?
Well, so with it being a 45-minute match, because Savannah DeMello on Sunday
Yeah.
had a little medical emergency on the field right before halftime. They stopped the game then, and then they continued the second half today. So they had 45 minutes to go all out. There was about 10 minutes left. The Rain were not looking very good at all. Like Louisville had all the chances. And so 10 minutes left, 80th minute comes along. She subs Fishlock in for Lou Barnes. So midfield for defender. And they looked so good afterwards. It felt destined for Fishlock to score. And she did in the 90th minute.
Who says you can't be the topic of conversation for all the right reasons? The Hyundai Tucson Hybrid pairs bold presence with advanced technology and sleek style. It's everything you didn't know you needed in an SUV and then some. Okay, Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com to learn more.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
You're tuned into Auto Intelligence, live from Auto Trader, where data, tools, and your preferences sync to make your car shopping smooth.
They're searching inventory.
Oh, yeah.
They find what you need.
They're gonna find it.
You can make a budget for your wallet to help you succeed. Pricing's precise and true.
So true.
It's smarter car shopping.
Ooh.
Just for you.
Oh, it's just for you. Ooh. Find your next ride at autotrader.com. Powered by Auto Intelligence.
Also, she got a yellow card on her cooler. Laura Harvey.
What'd she do?
I don't know. There were no fans, so she must have had to say something really wild for them to hear.
She can be loud at times. Oh yeah. So just no fans. Was it no fans allowed, or just nobody showed up because of being a?
It was a closed door, second half.
Really, I did not know that. Do we know why they did a closed door for that?
No.
Interesting. Just probably wasn't worth the money to operate the stadium staff.
Probably for those 45 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Still
But
seems like a little disappointment for fans though that could have had an opportunity to see the game.
yeah, it was a very boring game though, until maybe midway through that half. Like you're thinking these players, this is basically just like a practice on another Tuesday night. 45 minutes. They're going all out. But no, it was kind of a snooze fest until halfway.
So Harvey did make a good coaching decision.
She did.
I've never had a lot of faith that she was a great coach, but cool. All right. What do we expect from Seattle this weekend? Other than bringing Fishlock in the 80th minute or whatever.
I mean, they're a good team. I find them to be, they're kind of stingy defensively. Outside like the Current have only conceded 10 goals, sure. But Orlando really low on the goals conceded, but they haven't scored enough. You know, Gotham also really stingy defensively. The next best defensive teams are Seattle and Portland, and I think we saw Portland actually put up a pretty darn good fight in Portland. This is a team that this Seattle team already uh, shut out the Current this year. One of the only three times they've been shut out this year. So, I mean, it will be a tricky test. Harvey's a good coach. I think they'll have their players, especially the defensive group, uh, like Barnes, McClernand, Bug, Sam Mesa too in the middle, and as kind of a defensive midfielder, like maybe not true defense-minded midfielder, but a ball winner, and a Zoran Basong, like I'm everywhere and I'm just gonna tackle you and get the ball and go, kind of a player. I mean, they've got a lot to like, and with players, especially like Sofia Huerta back in the mix, as a wing back, that service into Jordan Heitman is going to be very dangerous. Mia Fischel is a target forward that's going to be dangerous as well. So luckily for the Current, their goalkeeper Lorena is super good at claiming crosses. I think that's in my opinion, one of her best strengths is that I think she reads the crosses extremely well and herself can cut out a lot of those balls if they are within her range of claiming. So I think that'll be what to look out for with the Seattle team. But I say Washington because they're in Washington, but sad this Seattle team, and I just think that they've got Claudia Dickey's been phenomenal in goal this year. They've got good experience on the back line with Lou Barnes. Phoebe McClernand and Jordan Bug have been really good on the back line too. I just think it's going to be another tough defensive opponent to play, because I thought Washington was phenomenal defensively. Orlando, when they were here, were phenomenal defensively in that game, and I just feel like this is going to be more of the same.
And you also have Fischel kind of getting throwaway minutes here and there. She hasn't really made too much of an impact other than I think she scored one goal so far, but other than that, she's not really getting too many minutes. But I think on the Current side, they're gonna come out guns a-blazing. They are disappointed in their Washington Spirit tie. And the Rain is one of two teams that have given them their losses this year. So I think they're looking for revenge.
According to Vlaco, they're not looking for revenge. It's just another game.
Okay, well, I'm speaking for Vlacker right now. What he doesn't want to say to media.
What he doesn't want to say to media is everything.
What he doesn't want to say at all, I'll say for him. I'm his internal monologue.
You mentioned Mia Fishel, who uh, she's been called up to the national team a little bit, but not very much. And it was always a big controversy that she wasn't getting called up when Vlaco was the national team coach. Everybody always complained about it. Not that she's been good enough to be consistently called up, but it was always like a big thing. Like, why is he not calling up Mia Fishel?
She did have a massive ACL injury at Chelsea. So,
Yeah.
But this was when she was playing in Mexico, I believe.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit different situation there.
At that, I feel like you're jinxing this.
I'm not jinxing anything. I am just commenting on something I noticed or thought about. If I'm jinxing anything, I'm jinxing your dilemma of first and second loves. It I do wish that they would not have these games overlap so much locally, but that has been a trend this year. All right, anything else we need to talk about from this game? And we've also are around the league. Sperry, vocal. Nobody can see you shake your head.
There was one thing I was going to say that I forgot off the top of my head. Oh, the current the current have clinched a top 2 spot.
Yes.
They will for sure. San Diego cannot catch them. They will for sure. So by clinching a top 2 spot, they guarantee themselves a spot in the CONCACAF Champions Cup for the clubs. That will be happening at some point next season, around this time next year. The current will end up involved in that in the way that um, both that Washington, Orlando, and Gotham are in. So out of the last iteration of it, the NWSL Shield winner and the Shield runner up get automatic qualification into the CONCACAF Champions League for it's essentially Champions League, CONCACAF Women's Champions League, for those who don't know what I'm talking about. And then the NWSL champion. If the NWSL champion is the Shield winner, then it's the next best team. That is how that is how Gotham ended up with that spot being in third place last season. So by winning, getting a top 2 spot, they guarantee their entry regardless of what happens in the playoffs to that. And they also guarantee that if they win the quarterfinal, their semifinal will be at home.
And if in the CONCACAF Cup, if I get this right, so correct me if I'm wrong, and I know you will. If they win that, then they would be in the Women's Club World Cup, which is the last spot open. Is that championship?
Yes. Yep.
If I understood correctly, it's kind of
yes.
difficult to follow through all the Wikipedia pages on it at times, but
yep.
All right, the KC Current 2 have a exhibition match against a USL Super League team on Friday, and you will be able to watch it. It's on ESPN Plus against Sporting Jacksonville. So, if you have any interest,
no,
you do have no interest.
I have no interest. Sorry.
I'm more interested in the roster itself. They've not listed it out officially anywhere, but they've made videos about who is on the team. So, but I'm not going to go through each video and write down who's who.
The last time I did see it at one point, but it's been, I don't know. It's weird because I asked Vasil, like, how they're working on the roster when I had a chance a couple opportunities ago. And, oh, yeah, the roster is pretty good. We might add a couple more players. Like, what does that mean? Like, what? It's not a real league. What does that mean? You could pretty much add players anytime you want, can't you? Like, I don't know. But he was available this morning, and a couple players. Talked to them briefly. One thing I wanted to mention about the current, too, is, if I understand correctly, and there's like a there's always the question of how they're going to announce something and why they wait so long to announce things. But an assistant coach, my understanding for the current two is Mallory Weber. So she is transitioning to be a coach for the two team. For people who have been wondering where she just disappeared to. Also, their Danish team, HB, how do you say that? Kook, Kurg, Kook, Kook. Uh, the loans to that team, because they'd made loans of Jericho and Marta Lacho. Jericho actually appeared in a game, so she finally made it over there. And I saw some people questioning why it took so long, and it is just the visas and ITC cards. The ITC cards are not too hard, but the visas that takes a while to occur sometimes. It looked like Lacho was at the last game, so she hadn't went yet. But Jericho did play in a game. She subbed in like 30 minutes in. And for anybody who's been around NWSL for a long time, I think if I saw this correctly, HB Koch has a really well-known former NWSL player on it.
Did you miss the Nadia? Did you miss Nadia Nadim announcement?
I did.
Oh,
when
yeah,
was that
was
announced?
A while ago.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago. She scored the most insane scorpion kick back heel goal off a corner
Yeah.
kick in her debut. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous goal.
Where was this announced?
They announced
On their
Gog announced
Instagram.
they announced it.
It was like a month ago, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I must have not watched their Instagram. So no, I thought I was like, I noticed something. Went, wow, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. She and Olivia Garcia are tearing it up.
Yeah.
Out there. So
I was kind of surprised to see her there because all of a sudden she popped up, and because I just check the scores every so often, and right, well, so much for my one little bit of intrigue news there. Cool.
I think it's
it is
also
fun.
going back to Casey Current too. I think it's interesting that Mila Brewer, who has appeared on Casey Current's like summer rosters and stuff like that. I know she just got her a first official debut in the Teal Rising Cup. Well, she signed with UCLA, but her younger sister, is on the Casey Current too.
Yes.
Interesting.
I would be surprised if Mila Brewer ends up being uh I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up being a young player signing or
Right.
even a because she might be by the time the off season hits, she might be under 18 still.
Yeah. I think she would be, but I don't know that for a fact.
She is 16 right now.
I don't know that she could be enrolled at UCLA at 16. She could be 17 though.
Maybe March 24th, 2009, according to NWSL.com.
Huh.
I mean,
Oh yeah, they're 16 as of 2025. That's crazy.
I mean, Katie Scott played a year at Penn State at 16, starting at 16, because she was 17 when we signed her and just turned 18.
And like Mary Long reclassified to go early, but I mean, that was to get out of college essentially, but she was 17 then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I've thought for a long time that Brewer would end up on the Current at some point. It just they had to get it to the right roster and time and
Yeah,
all that
I
stuff.
I know there were rumors on Reddit's best trusted source, everyone knows, that
Good old
other
Reddit.
teams had wanted her and her parents had said no, she's gonna stay close to home until she's ready and go to, so.
But a lot of players end up, committing to a college and then signing their pro deals and all that
Right.
stuff. So it's a lot of times I think it might just be a backup in case something happens that they can go and get their scholarship and all that stuff.
Yeah. It's just nice to see that there's not going to be another 13-year-old in the NWSL.
Yet,
Yet. And hopefully it's not Casey.
I mean, at some point somebody's going to sign like a 7-year-old or some shit.
Bring back discovery rights.
Uh,
They still
Vanessa's
have
kid.
them. There you
Maybe
go.
they can sign Vanessa's kid before it's born.
Someone still has Abby Wambach's discovery rights. Not discovery, playing rights.
Yeah.
It was noted on the last expansion draft.
Interesting.
Which is why
That's
we should
fun.
bring them back so that we know who has her playing rights at all times.
Can she still run, you think?
Definitely not.
She didn't run that much her last few years of playing, quite honestly, but if you needed a player to come off the bench and get you a header in the last few minutes of the game, she was a great choice. All right. Any other soccer news around the world? Around the US? Sperry's not going to watch the current two play, but Carrie is, I bet.
I'll catch a game. Thad, you had 2 facts that were not about the current, according to my sticky note.
I gave them. It was about
Oh.
current two and Coke, and I obviously did not know that everybody already knew the point about
Oh,
Coog.
okay.
So yeah, I was trying to be subtle and just it wasn't about the current. It was about current
Okay.
two and related teams. All right, good. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you keeping me honest and reminding me of these things because we all know that. Because I was going to mention the Mallory Weber thing 2 weeks ago and forgot, and I was going to mention it last week and forgot. So more power to her. And any other last words? We are out.
Attention passengers, we've now reached our destination. We hope you enjoyed the flight and have a nice day.